Live from the Rainbow Room. Live from OUJ International Recording Studios. Fly me to the moon. Let's play it and then let's chat a little. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Always makes me happy. So nice to see you here tonight. Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Sammy Davis Jr. would have liked that. Bing Crosby, Joey Bishop, Frank Sinatra. Maybe not Bing. I don't think it was Bing's song. Dean Martin, maybe. Probably Dean Martin. So some tricky bits. We've got some jump strums, C to C7. So the strum is down, up, 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 down, up. If you got two chords and there's two sets of jump strums, there is C to C7, and so you're going from C to C7, pretty easy. And you could do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, but it's better as a jump strum where you're moving on the up. Down, up, 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 down, up. Slow it down. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And A minor to A7. So those are the two. They're in brackets. A minor ... A7 means you're sharing a strum and you've got to make a move at some point, and the place that point is on the up, down, jump, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, jump, up, down, up. So D minor, easy breezy. F with a friend, right? F, and then add your friend, tucked in there closely. G7, the dreaded E minor 7-5. What? But it always follows the G7, and you are just keeping your G7 middle finger in place. You are merely swiveling slightly with your wrist and putting your index finger down on the first string instead of the second string. Nice little jazzy chord. So it looks like that. So it looks like an F. It looks like 2/3 of a G minor. And so you're on G7. Swivel. Release that one. Put that one down. What's the big deal? So it's G7, swivel. And then the cool thing is you're sliding your middle finger over for your A7. And then the cool thing is you're sliding it back for D minor. Well, not really, because you got to move it up. But it seemed like cool for a second there, but that's not how it works. But then back to D minor. Swiveling down to G7. Sliding over for C. So a lot of times we use our index finger as our anchor, our go-to move. In this case, you're going from C to E7. You're sliding your C back to the second fret and use that as your anchor. And then reach up for your index up here and drop in your middle finger, that third string, second fret. So how would that go? That would go that second half of the intro. D minor, swivel G7, or just drop your fingers G7, slide for C, slide back for C. 2 hits. I was strumming, it was 2 hits. So D minor, G7, slide for C, slide back. So the worst thing that happens is you slide back and you don't do the E7, you do C major 7. While everybody else is going, you're doing some kind of harmony with. The person next to you will go, oh, that was cool. How'd you know to do that? So anyway, then fly A minor to the moon. Let me play. Here's your jump strum on the C to C7. Let me F. D minor is like on boom, boom, Jupiter and Mars. D minor to E7. What do you need to do there? I think you're probably best reaching up with your index and then dropping the other two. C, D minor. Yeah, that would be good because you'd hit that on your first strum and then you'd get your other two to fall in on your second. Again, the person next to you will go, that sounded cool. Anyway, practice that D minor to E7 transition. D minor, E7, D minor, E7, D minor, E7, D minor, E7. And that'll be fun. Or you just skip it. You just go for your E7. You go D minor and do 2 percussive strums. Do that. Anyway, where were we? I don't know, Bob. You're trying to teach this thing. Where were you? There it is. Jupiter and boom, boom, Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my swivel to that weird chord A7 and slide. In other words, drop to G7 and slide to C. So that's that. So it's just, a couple little transition. G7 to E minor 7-5. And that D minor to E7. That's a tricky one. Then the second last line, we should look at that. In other words, D minor, G7, B, swivel to 6 on the E minor 7-5. Do, 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 do. Slide to A7, do. So that's do, 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 slide. In other words, I love you. Fun song, good one to practice. Play along with me and we'll set you free or something like that. We'll have fun on the 8th. That'll be a good song for us. Ciao bella, buongiorno. Right? Send questions. See you soon.